neuroscience has discovered for quite a while. It's well documented, and it's also enjoyable. I, as a therapist, in my 50th year of doing therapy, I don't know how that happened, but it's been a blessing to me to get to know other people and to be able to help people. And I've been involved with a group at the University of California, San Francisco Medical Center, where we work with palliative care doctors and nurses who are helping people who are dying. And through them, occasionally I get to work with someone who's had cancer. And a woman I knew came to see me about this. She'd had 9 surgeries for breast cancer and had to have another surgery because it's a very rare recurring, and she was just really traumatized and didn't want to do it, even though she knew she was supposed to. And I found out in talking with her that her fear was of waking up with pain, because it happened once or twice where she woke up where the anesthesia hadn't been good or something. And so 2 things. I did make sure that she was going to tell her anesthesiologist to maybe help give her some pain medication before she woke up. But let's also do the flash technique, because in your unconscious mind, you have memories that were really painful, and those turbocharge your thinking about having the new surgery. So we did the flash technique on it, and she was able to think of really wonderful places that she had been on hiking trips and nature and seeing trees and lakes. She just filled her mind up with these positive things. And she said her anxiety about it went way down. She was able to have the surgery, and it went very well. It's not simply thinking about a positive thing. It's with a couple of additions, but the technical term from neurology and neuroscience is memory reconsolidation. This is very well known. There is definitely a strong understanding of neuroscience of why this makes a change without suffering. In fact, it's something often at the end of during these sessions, people are laughing, or they're remembering something that just fills them with such good feeling about their life. It's trauma therapy doesn't have to be hard. What if you had a memory of something bad that happened, but you don't see it and you don't know it, we might think the stress is today, but you feel it. So when I was 2-year-old or 1.5, a neighbor dog had picked me up with its teeth on the diapers and was dragging me along the sidewalk. Now, I don't remember that. Most of us don't have memories until 4 years old or so. It's all to do with brain development, but and way of coding it. I don't remember that, but I was always a little bit not comfortable around dogs. Never had a dog. And then one day when I was about 30 years old, my mother told me, "Oh, you probably don't remember, but once we were outside and the dog came and picked you up, and I went, you weren't hurt, but," and I thought, that's probably a feeling memory that I had back there. And I've been comfortable with dogs ever since, except Doberman one time that I was a little afraid of, but so that some of the stress we might be feeling is because without knowing it, we're triggered into something from the past. And that's what this little technique is meant to take care of. So my daughter taught this flash technique to her 7 and 9-year-old. The boy was 9, the girl was 7, Sylvia and Roman. And now they're 9 and 11. But she taught them, and they called it blink flash because of the blinking part. Then we found out that Sylvia, the youngest, told me, "Oh, my friend George was feeling really sad the other morning at school. So I showed him the blink flash, and he felt a lot better." So
she was 7.
Yes. She did not have a therapy license. Another one was a 75-year-old woman. This woman suffered for like 8 or 9 months after his death. After we did flash, one time she said, "Wow, I don't know how that worked, but now I can remember and see 50 years I had with my son, who I really loved, instead of that one intrusive imagination." I know that there are people who believe you should only teach things that are like this, EMDR, etc. But EMDR is very complicated. And this, it seems to me, has very little chance of hurting someone because you're encouraging them to think of something positive. They're filling up their working memory with something that's different than it had been, and that's called memory reconsolidation. And this is a very well-known, this is similar, he says, to corrective emotional experience that they wrote about in regular talk therapy. But I think the flash technique condenses things into a very precise tool.
vấn đề sao
Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Great Reset 2026, a global mental health forum for stress relief, bringing you two speakers, one from the West and one for the East. Now, my name is Chen, your host today, and this is a passion project that 15 friends from my university is doing. We are dialing in from all around Malaysia. Hi, Alex. Hi, Jim. It's a long time since I saw you guys. So lovely to see you here. Hi, Mackenzie. Hi, Jake. Oh my gosh, everyone is here. Oh my gosh, my mom is here. Hi, mom. Well, to all the people who are here today, who, I think all of my friends and ask our moms to join as well. So let's give a round of applause for the people who support us in all our lives. Thank you so much. And for all of those of you out there who are parents, working parents, some of you are also in uni, like those in my classmates, you guys are awesome. Now, when I was teaching a special needs class with children back in, 2012, we had to have like this signature move for all of us. So like when they say, hello, good morning, my name is Susanna, I'll be your teacher today. We'll have like a little gesture so that when a kid who comes in and who can't really like, they're mute, they're on mute, they can't speak, they'll run up to you and they go like, and then they're calling you. So today we're gonna do a very special move that a friend here taught us, and it's called jelly fingers. Can we all do a jelly fingers? Whoosh! Beautiful. Oh my gosh, everyone is here. This is so lovely. Hi, Abigail. Hi, Ada. Hi, Emma Yusman. Hi, Ethel. Hi, Henry Hugh. It's so lovely to see everyone from all these places. And I think a lot of my friends here are actually fasting for the Ramadan month from sundown to sunset. You guys were cool before fasting was cool. So happy that you can join us today, Kashvinda. So happy to see you, Melati. And this program is streaming out of Malaysia, where we are a very diverse country. We have 4 New Year celebrations a year. And that's just it. We just celebrate different cultures, religion, names, languages, food. It's all here. Hi, Abhishek. Hi, Manjuna. Hi, Veronica. To all our friends in India, Vanakam. If you're from the south, and namaste if you're for the now, I learned this sentence from a friend 2 days ago, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's namaste. Bahut acha laga aap sabko yahan dekh ke. So happy to see you guys all on the live stream and here in Zoom, and from everyone joining us from all around the world, from the Philippines, Singapore, London, US, California, even Taiwan. Welcome to the Great Reset. 欢迎，节目马上就开始。So, what is the Great Reset all about? We live today in a very high performance, fast paced, social media, stimulus bombarding kind of life. And that makes our nervous system like often reacting. Every time there's a ta-dung, you're like, you know, every time there's an assignment, there's a job, all of these things puts our nervous system in a higher level of stress by default. So there are two kinds of stress, right? When I was a teacher a long time ago, I had like 10-year-old student come in and say, teacher, I'm very stressed. And I'm like, you're 10. What's up? What's up? Tell me, are you scared of something that's going to happen? She says, it's just a feeling that I've had for a while, this like little pressure. So this is a general kind of stress. A general stress is a feeling, maybe it's a very low mood that's been there for a while. Maybe it's just like this frustration or anger that's just been there. Or even a feeling that that you have to react and worry a lot. And this is happening because the body and mind is so used to being in a stressful situation that stress has become a habit, even though it doesn't need to be the right response for the moment. Now, there's another kind of stress that is a response that is specific to a memory or a trigger. Now, what is a specific stress? Well, you know, the very kind and patient person who is very kind and very patient until someone cuts them off in traffic. That's a specific stress response. You like animals, unless it's a lizard sticking to your wall, and then you get goosebumps just thinking about it because once upon a time it fell from the ceiling onto your head. And then for your life, you are scared of the idea of a lizard. Ayo, you are well prepared for everything until you walk into a room of people who are speaking loudly and all of a sudden you blank, right? You are an adult with a good job, good life. Then suddenly when your child turns 9 years old, you have this irrational frustration and temper for that little thing because something happened to you when you were around that age and there's something that gives you a little worry at the back of your mind, like the chichat sticking to the side of your memory in your brain, right? So these are specific stress responses. Now, stress is of course a very natural response in a body. You know, it's as natural as blinking or having saliva. But excess stress that doesn't turn off creates problems for you and the people around you. So in today's forum, we are going to reset the habit of stress with two speakers. The first session, Oneness Generation, a community of young people, will present the Stress-Free Zone program. This is an emotional resilience program that can be taught in schools. And the Stress-Free Zone program has 6 modules to help very young minds develop emotion skills and nurture a very healthy brain that thinks clearly. I asked if they will come and run a session with us just like the ones that they were doing in schools or in co-curricular programs or in their little communities. And they said yes. And this will bring a lesson to us about stress versus problems because these are two different things that often get confused and combined. Now, the second half is Dr. David Bullard, who will be calling all the way from California, US. He will teach us the latest breakthrough technique for clinical stress relief that has only emerged in the last 10 years or so of advancements in neurosciences. Now, the FT technique works for acute clinical stress, so very severe cases. And it's also so easy to use that, all our normal stressful memories, no issue. It's so cute that Dr. Bullard's grandchildren actually went to school and taught it to their friends when they're having a very hard time. So this is a technique for someone who is going through something reactive that is very specific. So if you have a general stressful emotion that is ongoing in your life, well, the stress-free zone programs might have something from you, and we start with problems versus stress. If you have a very specific stress reaction or a memory, whether it's a memory that you know a story about, or it's just a feeling like, oh, okay, that is something that you would want to bring to the second workshop. Without further ado, let's welcome our group of young speakers for the first workshop.
Yes.
Spotlight.
Go.
Hello, everyone. Excuse me. Can you hear me? My Wi-Fi is so-so. Oh, how lovely to see you all. Though I can only see a few of you. So I would invite, if you are able to, in a space that is good for it, to turn on your cameras. Hello. Oh, I love seeing your beautiful faces. Thank you so much, Tian, for inviting Oneness Generation. We have a pretty good crew here today to teach our stress-free zone module, relieving anxiety. I'll introduce our facilitators here in a moment. But really, I wanted to talk about and first introduce what Oneness Generation is and what the stress-free zone is, where it came from. Oneness Generation is a global community. You can see some of us there. We've cut off some heads in this picture up here, but in the middle here we have Pooja. I'm over there in the corner. You can just see my head right next to the Oneness Generation logo. I'm hugging Akshita, but you can't tell that. We're a global community of people from all over the world. Specifically, we are trying to help young people, teens to 20s and 30s, move from being in a place of stress and overwhelm to a place of calm and to a beautiful state, truly. Doing this, sorry, I'm trying to see more of you here. In doing this, we're trying to help people be in their workplace, live their lives, grow their families, and not do it from a place of overwhelm. We are taught ourselves, Oneness Generation is taught by Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji. They are teachers from India who have mastered going from this stressful state to a beautiful state. And they teach about emotional resilience, and they've taught us how to teach you guys. And that's why we go into schools, young schools, and colleges and universities and businesses, and help coach people into in this stress-free zone. We meet up online like this, and we meet all over the globe in the USA. We meet in Sweden, in India, and we have camps and events, and we party because we're all friends and family, really. So I want to introduce our two facilitators. Well, first I want to introduce our agenda. We will start, like I said, introducing our facilitators. We'll go into a little bit of movement, stretching. I know all of you are in a different time zone, but for a couple of us on this call, like Alex and Jim and David, it's heading towards the evening. In fact, it's actually quite the evening. It's almost 9 o'clock where I live, 9 p.m. And we'll need that movement to stay engaged and to wake up a little bit, right? David agrees with me. And then we'll go into our teaching for the day, which is centered around relieving anxiety. We will have a small written reflection. So if you do not have a piece of paper and a pen with you, you should get one. In the time, we'll have a little time for that. And then we'll teach you the Serene Mind practice, which is a 3-minute practice to help you become aware of your stressful state and move out of that stressful state. And then we will have a conclusion. Are we ready? Does everybody have a piece of paper? What about water? Do you have a water bottle or tea or juice? See, Alex and Jim have water. Gwen has something to drink. Tian, do you have something to drink? Yeah, Tian has something to drink. Okay, so I think we're all set and ready. Okay, very good. Let's introduce Jake. Jake is currently in India right now. So even though he hails from Canada, he is currently in India. Jake is all about nature. You can see him there in that picture, sitting in a tree back home in Canada. He is a nature guide. Specifically, he takes people on epic journeys down the river in canoes. I've seen pictures. I have never had the opportunity to join him, but he is quite the wilderness explorer. And perhaps most importantly, he is a Oneness Generation volunteer, and he does pretty much everything up and down the book. So we are very pleased to welcome Jake to teach us. Everybody give Jake a round of applause. Some waving fingers at the camera. Yes. See, this is why I want to see all of your pictures, because I want you to clap for us. And let's introduce Akshata. You can also pin Akshata for us. Akshata is 25 years old. She lives in India. She says she works for holistic wellness, but let me tell you, there is a lot more to Akshata. A filmmaker, all things creativity, let me tell you, Akshata has it. And of course, a nature lover, as we all are. As we all are. So beautiful for both of these stress-free zone experts to join us. They've taught this many times. Akshata taught this to a university. Akshata, how many people were there at that university that you guys taught to?
Close to 1,000, I think. More than that. It was an orientation session. So we had like a fresh batch of kids joining this session.
It was like an arena. It was an arena of people. It was huge. Anyways, I am thrilled to welcome both of them. My name is Mackenzie. I'm from the US, very close to where Dr. David lives. And thrilled to stress-free zone session, module 5, relieving anxiety. Take it away, Jake and Akshita.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for that lovely intro, Mackenzie. Thank you, Tian, for putting together this amazing forum and having us here. So we will now be doing a few seated movements. Most of us, all of us, have been slouched over some device most of our day, or just turning into shrimps. And before we turn into shrimps permanently, let's straighten our spines. Let's come back to being human. And that is what these movements will help us do. These movements will help us relax, allow our body and our minds to move into a state of calm and attentiveness so that we may be fully present to our sessions ahead. Before we begin, the key to the movements, they are to be done slowly with total attention on your mind and your body. So are we all ready for straightening our spines and coming back to being humans? Okay. Sit comfortably with your spine straight. Inhale and raise your right arm above your head from the side. Hold the left ear with your right hand. And as you exhale, extend your left arm onto the left side of your body. Walk it out as far as you can. Exhaling gently, tug on your left ear and bend your head towards your right side. Pause here. Take a moment to notice what your spine, your neck feels like right now. And exhaling, you will gently relax, release your head, come back to center, and relax your arms. We will do the same on the left side. Inhaling, Raise your left arm above your head. Bend your elbow and hold the top of your right ear. Extend your right arm and walk it as far as you can. Exhaling, gently bend your head towards your left side. If you feel like you are in a rush, just know there is nowhere else to be. Completely feel the stretch on the right side of your neck. And exhaling, return your head back to center. Release your arms and relax. For our next posture, we will be doing a tricep stretch. Sit with your back straight. Inhaling, raise your right arm above your head. Bend your elbow and with the palm of your right hand, touch your right shoulder blade. Exhale. Now as you inhale, lift your left arm. Hold your right elbow and gently stretch. Exhaling, relax. We will do the same on the left side. As you inhale, raise your left arm above your head. Bend your elbow and touch your left shoulder blade. Exhale. As you inhale, raise your left arm and hold your right elbow. Gently pull your right elbow towards your left side. Exhale. Pause here. Notice what your body feels like, how your breath is flowing. Inhale. As you exhale, relax your arms and come back to center. For our last posture, inhaling, lift both your arms straight above your head. Interlock your fingers and push the sky, the roof away from you. Feel your spine slowly opening up. As you exhale, relax. Now gently close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. We will take 3 conscious breaths here, meaning you're paying attention to the movement of your entire breath. As you finish your last conscious breath, you may gently open your eyes. That was your seated moment. Hopefully all of you are feeling a little bit more stretched out. It feels like a hug to my body personally. So I hope that felt like it to you as well. Unshrimped, yes, unshrimped. I will hand it over to Jake now, who will take our session forward.
Yes. Thank you so much, Akshita. That was such a nice movement you led us through. Definitely preparing my body for this session and everyone's body to be aware and mind to be aware. So that's very nice. And I want to give a big thank you to Tian and the whole team who put on this amazing event for this opportunity to be here. It's really a great opportunity for me to be here, for Oneness Generation to be here, and to share the stage with Dr. David Bullard. It's an honor, so thank you so much. Yes, so let's get into our stress-free zone session here. Stress-free zone topic today is relieving anxiety. And as a little introduction to this session here, I want to start with a few questions. That is it possible to achieve without anxiety? Is it possible to face challenges, to chase our dreams in life, all without the fear of losing what we are in the process of building? And can we face bigger and bigger challenges without feeling more and more weighed down by the pressure of all these challenges? And what we'll find in today's session is the answer is yes. We're going to watch a video teaching with Sri Krishnaji in a few moments. And here he'll explain it is possible for us to thrive in life without this anxiety, and the pursuit of our goals can be a joyful pursuit. So let's learn now from Sri Krishnaji how this is possible. Akshita, there's no sound on your video.
Yes, it is possible to become free of anxiety and stress. But for us to become free of anxiety and stress, let's first understand the difference between problem and suffering. We all strongly believe that the second we have a problem, we need to get stressed about it. We need to understand that problem is an external situation, stress is an internal experience. So if you look at life, we all have problems. We have financial problems, relationship problems, health problems. Every one of us have problems. And we all suffer too. But to become free of the suffering, to become free of anxiety and stress, we need to understand that when we are in that state of anxiety and stress, we are obsessively thinking about ourselves. We have moved away from the problem. So let's say, for example, you are in a job and you're fired. The problem is you need to find another job, but you are suffering, you are in stress, you are anxious. The reason you're anxious and you're stressed is because now you're thinking about your monthly bill, you're thinking about what you'll go and say your partner, you're thinking about your pleasures, you're thinking about what's going to happen to me if I don't find a job. So you're going over me, what's someone going to think about me? You're also thinking, this guy or this person who did not deserve this job has got it, but I deserved it the most and I lost it. So instead of fixing the problem, which is to find another job, you are actually going over a thinking process which is all about you. And when it is about you, you will be tremendously stressed because you are concerned about what's going to happen to you. You are not concerned about fixing the problem anymore. So if you can bring attention to that inner world and see the truth, that it's become about me, if you can meditate even a few seconds on it, you'll become completely free of that anxiety. You'll become free of that stress. And you will have this tremendous intelligence come into you, which will actually be an intelligence that will guide you to find a solution, to find that job or to fix that problem. Unfortunately, we are not able to fix our problems because we are caught up in this conflict. We are caught up in this inner world, a stressful world which is all about oneself.
Yes. So from this video, there are some very key important insights that we must understand. I'm just going to adjust my view so I can see all of you. Yes. And one of them is the difference between problem and stress. When there is an uncomfortable situation externally, that is a problem. But in the midst of facing this problem, we often move into anxiety, into this obsession over ourselves. What's going to happen to me, which creates that unpleasant feeling inside, that anxious feeling inside. And we assume that this anxiety and these problems, they must go hand in hand, that problems must ultimately lead to stress. But really, what we're finding here is this is not the truth. What Shri Krishnaji is very clearly explaining to us is that this is not the truth. We can learn the art of facing problems without moving into this anxiety. So now I invite Akshita to bring us through a little thought exercise here.
All right. So, to further understand the difference that we speak about between a problem and a stress, we will walk through few examples, and I want all of you to be fastest fingers first and type your answers to the questions I ask in the chats. Okay? So, ready with your fingers on your keyboard. Imagine this. I have too much to handle all at once. I have 3 assignments that are due. I have a family function that I need to be ready for. And I have an exam that is coming up. There's so much happening all at once. Is this a problem or a stress? Quickly. I would like to see your answers in the chats. Stress, problems, stress, problems, problem question mark. Okay, stress, both, stress. All right. Okay, we have a mixed batch. Now, I will walk you through one more example. Same situation. I have the same 3 assignments that are due, the same family function that I need to be ready for, the same competitive exam that is happening. But now I'm starting to get scared and I'm starting to get overwhelmed. And I'm starting to think, if I don't meet all of this, oh my God, I'm going to be such a failure. How can I be such a bad person? I start thinking all of this, and now I'm stressed and overwhelmed. Is this a stress or a problem? Stress. Oh, that's def stress. Yes, stress. Okay. Okay, so the stress part is very clear, I see. Great. Okay, so very relatable. We will have one more example. Same situation. I have one of those assignments that I need to finish, but it's a group assignment. So I need to go to a friend's place. And now I'm driving down the highway. This assignment is on a tight deadline, and I need to get there to finish it so we can submit it tomorrow. There is oncoming traffic. I'm driving my beloved car on the highway, and my car breaks down mid-highway, oncoming traffic. Is this a stress or a problem? Problem, stress. We have one stress, problem. Lot more people identifying this as a problem. Okay. Same situation, the car has broken down, and now I'm starting to think about all the inconvenience. Oh my God, I'm going to have to call the toll person. I'm going to have to reschedule this assignment. How am I going to explain this to my professor? Is this professor going to believe us? What am I going to do? Is this uncomfortable process of thinking stress or problem? Stress. Lots of stress. Okay. So seems like all of us have a fair understanding, or at least how we see these situations. I will further have Jake explain and help us further clarify any doubts we have between the difference between a problem and a stress. Over to you, Jake.
Thank you, Akshita, once again for painting such a clear picture of those scenarios. So in these 2 scenarios, let us reflect on it a little bit more, or basically to summarize what Akshita was saying. We have these first scenario of we have all these pressing deadlines, we have so many people relying on us, this scenario. This is an external situation. This is what we call a problem. Then our mind starts racing. Oh my God, what if I let this person down? What if I fail? What if I can't meet all these deadlines? What Akshita was saying, that is the stress. That is where the uncomfortable inner experience comes in. That is where the anxiety comes in. And same goes for the car scenario. Now, the general belief is that facing a challenge, like I said, will inevitably lead to stress. When we have those pressing deadlines, automatically I'm going to project how I won't get it all done. When my car breaks down, I automatically get stressed over the cost of the repairs and the whole inconvenience this is causing to the whole day. And this reaction has become so natural for us to move into stress that we automatically jump to the conclusion it's not possible to be calm when we are facing these challenges. And that is where Sri Krishnaji challenges this belief and this misconception. And he says that stress is an internal experience, while a problem is an external challenge. And stress or anxiety can be dissolved through different practices, through observation, through different practices that resolve this stress, which we will learn later on in this program, in this workshop. And a problem or a challenge requires our full attention, our full presence to it, which we are not capable of bringing when we are stuck in this thinking, going around in circles, constantly thinking about what's going to happen to me, me, me. We're not capable of bringing adequate attention to the problem, and our intelligence when we are facing this will be much lower. So for this to become our experience, where we don't move into stress in the face of challenges, we definitely need to have some deeper understanding, which Sri Krishnaji gives us, into the nature of this stress, into the nature of this anxiety, and why it arises. Sri Krishnaji says in this video, anxiety is a fear that things will go wrong, or a desire for everything to be perfect. And it is always a chaotic future projection. And if we observe closely, we would find that this future projection, this chaotic thinking, revolves around ourselves. It is self-centric thinking. We are anxious about what's going to happen to me rather than thinking about the problem. Being present, being able to be present to everyone who's involved, all the factors that are involved in this challenging situation that is arising. When we are able to be present, when we are able to be aware of all these different factors, a much greater intelligence flows through us, but instead we are lost in thinking about ourselves. So I'm going to invite Akshita to share an experience again from her own life to help us better understand this.
So, to give you guys a bit of a context, recently I have been in the job searching phase of my life. But honestly, it feels like a survival or a horror movie. It feels like somebody's put me in a jungle and asked me to survive with no natural skills. And I'm here to share this story with you. My job search had been drier than the Sahara Desert. Absolutely no callbacks, silence, hardly any responses, like no other human in sight. Okay. And after a while of applying and having heard only silence or having heard back rejections, something started happening. And initially, I had not noticed this. In hindsight, this is what I realized. I'd started getting stressed, and I'd started thinking while applying for jobs, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not smart enough for any of these roles, or I'm not competent enough, or maybe I should just give up. It doesn't make sense. The job is not for me. It's fine. So I was getting to that place. And slowly the stress started taking over so much that the sheer process of applying for a job put me into a freeze position. I would not be able to hit the apply button. The solution is extremely obvious when you hear about it. The solution is so obvious. Just keep applying and, reposition yourself, strategize. But I couldn't get myself to do it. And when I noticed this stress, I was able to apply this teaching about the difference between a stress and a problem, and with the use of tools that we talk about. And don't worry, we will not gatekeep, we will talk about these tools further. The use of these tools, I was able to dissolve the stress. And once my stress settled, I was able to think about it so clearly. And suddenly I was able to see the solution. Just like relook at what my application process was right now, position myself better, and apply again. I did that. And now I'm happy to report that my Sahara Desert job is not as dry. It stopped being dry. I have started receiving callbacks and interviews, which has been going well. And I'm able to be present for the interview in a more calmer way, in a more clearer way, and don't feel as dejected. So the interviews are going as well. Hopefully by the next time we see each other, I'll have a job and I can be like, yes, story complete. So this was my experience of how I was able to apply the teaching of a difference between a stress and a problem, which in very real life improved my life. So thank you, Jay, for the space. And we will further go about having a small reflection. So as Mackenzie asked all of us, grab a notebook. We saw a small example of this teaching in my life. Let us reflect in our own lives. Take a moment to think about, are you currently facing a challenge in your life? There is no right or wrong answer here, and nobody is going to read your answers. So feel free to write whatever you comes to your mind. Now, think about, what is your emotion when you think of this challenge? When you think of this specific challenge in your life, do you feel calm or do you feel anxious about it? For our next question, if you wrote that you feel anxious about this challenge, think about what you are anxious about. Ask yourself, this is the challenge. Why am I anxious about this challenge? And write down everything that comes to your mind. Every reason you can think of for being anxious, write it down. Be in a space where you're just noticing and not judging your answers. For your last answer, or the last question, think about, how does this make you feel about yourself? Again, whatever answers your mind thinks about, write them down. Repeating the question, how does this make you feel about yourself? Thank you, everyone. We will now have Jake walk us through the serene mind practice, a practice that helps us walk out of that anxiety that we experience. Jake.
Yes, thank you once again, Akshita. All right, so now let's move into the serene mind practice, which you've heard so much about. Now it's time to get into it. So, this serene mind practice, we can all we can all use and overuse. There is no overuse of this practice. Use it as much as you want. But we can use this practice to overcome our anxiety. Are you all excited for this? Yes? I'm very excited to share it with you because let me tell you, this practice has worked wonders in my life. I have used it every day, most days, multiple times a day for the past several years, and it has really profoundly increased my ability to live life from a calm state. So this is a simple 3-minute practice that we can keep in our back pocket, pull it out whenever we need it, when any kind of inner disturbance happens. And there are actually people all over the world in hundreds of countries all over the world using this today as we speak to dissolve their stress as it arises. Now, you can use this to practice to dissolve any form of stress. If it's mild, if it's a little bit of anxiety, if it's a little bit of frustration, if it's a little bit of irritation, or you can use it to really, when the anxiety really builds into like a lot of fear, a lot of inner disturbance, or some other really disturbing inner emotion, you can then use the serene mind practice to help calm this emotion down, return back to clear thinking. Because what this serene mind practice does is it shifts the brain's activity from the amygdala, which is the fight or flight center, which way my camera is mirrored, which is the fight or flight center at the back of the head, which is responsible for these feelings of anxiety, these feelings of fear, and it shifts this activity to the prefrontal cortex, located around here at the front of your head, which is responsible for the calm, clarity in thought, the logical thinking, which will be super, super helpful for us whenever we're facing any kind of challenge, any kind of problem. So this practice, yes, so this practice, I want to give you a little bit of a visual, a little bit of a better visual of what this looks like when this practice activates the prefrontal cortex and activates these brain neurons. Are you all ready for this visual? It's a very realistic visual. It'll give you paint a very clear picture of what actually happens in your brain. You can see very clearly our brain cells activating. Yes. Thank you, penguins, for helping us understand this practice at a much deeper level. Now let us continue with our explanation of serene mind practice. Okay, so this practice has 5 steps. I'm going to go through each of these 5 steps in a little bit more detail. Don't need to remember all of these steps, as I will be guiding you through the serene mind practice and prompting you with each step. Are you all ready to learn the 5 steps? Okay, good. So let's go ahead with it. So, first step, very important step. We should not skip this step. You must sit with your back straight and sit still. Try to hold your body still for the entire duration of the practice. Try not to itch, try not to shift, try not to do whatever little movements with your body. Just if we're able to hold our body still for 3 minutes alone, that alone has a profound impact on our mind, and it allows our mind to become a lot more calm. The second step, we take 3 conscious, deep breaths, meaning that we're breathing deep into our abdomen and we're exhaling longer than the inhalation. Then, third step, we bring passive observation to what emotion am I experiencing right now? We take our attention inwards. Am I feeling some stressful state? Like, am I feeling some frustration or anxiety, irritation, or maybe more intense stressful state like fear, anger, sadness? We just observe. What are we feeling? And we're not trying to change what we're feeling. We're not trying to do anything to what we find. We're just playing the role of a passive observer here in this step, as well as in the next step. In the next step, we observe our thinking, the direction of our thinking. Are we getting lost in the past, entangled in the past, or are we obsessing over the future, making some chaotic projection of what's going to happen? Or are we in the present moment? Because let me go back to the last step. I missed one part. We're also going to observe, are we in a beautiful state? What are we feeling right now? Like it could be some beautiful state like joy, calm, presence, happiness, fulfillment, connection, love. It can be any of these beautiful states. And we're just bringing passive observation to this. And then we're observing the direction of the movement of our thinking, which could be in the present as well. And then for the fifth step, we bring our attention to the center of our eyebrows. And we visualize a tiny little flame, the size of a candle flame at our eyebrow center. And we visualize this flame move inward to the middle of our brain. You can just hold your attention on this flame floating in the middle of your brain for a few moments. If you have trouble visualizing this, then no problem. You can just feel as though there's a candle flame moving into the middle of your brain. So are you all ready to begin? Serene mind practice. Shall we start? Okay. So let's begin with our first step of sitting still, sitting straight, holding our body still for the duration of this practice. And we'll start by taking 3 conscious breaths, breathing slow and deep, being totally present to every inhalation and exhalation. Now, turn your attention inward and observe, what is the emotion you're experiencing right now? Are you feeling some anxiety, some frustration, some fear? Or are you feeling calm, joyful, present, connected? What are you feeling right now? Just observe. Now, let us observe the direction of the movement of our thinking. Are you entangled in the past or obsessed over the future? Or are you in the present moment? Now, bring your attention to your eyebrow center. Visualize a tiny flame there at the center of your eyebrows. And see this flame move inward to the middle of your brain. And hold your attention on this flame in the middle of your brain for a few moments. And whenever you're ready, you can take a deep breath. And as you're exhaling, slowly open your eyes. How are you all feeling right now? Drop some messages in the chat. How are you feeling? Calm, awesome, blissed out. Nice. Very nice. So calm, relieved, relaxed. Amazeball. Peace. Very nice. Yes. So we're all really feeling the effect of the Serene Mind practice. We're going to share this practice, the links to this practice in the chat. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music. It's available in multiple different ways for us to keep it in our back pocket, to keep using it. And as we use this more and more and more, as we find some inner disturbance, as we keep using it, it's going to erode away our tendency within the mind to move into these stressful emotions as a habit, and it's going to allow us to live more and more of our life from a state of calm. So, just to recap on a couple of today's points, I will share our little recap here on the screen. Number one, problem does not have to equal stress. A challenge does not need to inevitably lead to stress, like most of us have believed. A problem is external. It requires our presence, our full attention, and our action, which is not possible when we're lost in anxious, self-obsessed thinking. And stress is internal, and this needs observation and it needs to be resolved, which can be done through the Serene Mind practice. Now, I'll pass it over to Mackenzie to take us from here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for your participation and doing the meditation. It's very nice to see all your participation, your sincerity. Thank you. Thank you, Akshita.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. What a great session. Thank you, guys. Can everybody hear me all right? We're good? Okay. Let me know if we get choppy. Stunning. Jake, Akshita, I actually haven't been an attendee of a full run through of your stress-free zone session before. Beautiful facilitation. I am very grateful and very honored. Thank you. Our stress-free zone modules, we just were shown, Module 5, Relieving Anxiety. There are 6 whole modules in a very similar format with a little bit of movement, potentially some reflection, a teaching, a video from Sri Krishna Ji, over 6 different topics, including some brain science, being yourself, calming stress. As you can see here, we have our list of 6 modules. We want you to experience every module. Each one is free. We host them online, we host them in person. I think perhaps Tian will have a little bit more information for you about some further opportunities for you to be connected with Stress Free Zone. But if you go to the next slide, you will see the ways to be a part of the community, largely on social media. You can follow us on Instagram, and from there you can get information on when we host events, when we host fun calls, when we do, yes, we can arrange, Tian put in the chat, we can arrange depending on people's times. Because we're all over the world, the most difficult thing is timing, and we always figure it out. Even if one of us is up at 3 a.m., sometimes that happens. But that's what makes it fun. It's because we love each other. So follow us on Instagram, look at our website. We post information all over. And the biggest, most motivating reason you should go to Instagram is 2 things. 1, we have great teachings and insights and information, and you can join the community. And 2, Jake is our ultimate meme lord. We have so many memes all over. And yes, we post videos of the events and things that we do. So you should follow us on Instagram, on YouTube. And we want to see you again and be your friends. So it was a delight to do this with you. Tian, thank you so much for inviting Oneness Generation to be a part of the Great Reset. What a cool event you put together. Wonderful. If we could just give one final round of applause for Jake and Akshita. What a great time. Jelly fingers or clapping or whatever. Just some celebration. Wonderful. Thank you all. We feel very appreciative and thank you. I'm excited
Thank you,
for
Oneness
the second
Generation.
half of I'm so excited for the second half of our workshop.
That's so fun. Thank you, Oneness
Gracias.
Generation. Let's bring our speakers back. Mackenzie, stay on there for a second. Let's bring Akshita and Jake back on for a group photo. And actually, can we also add David to this mix just for a speakers everyone photo call? Because this is so cute. Like, I don't know when we're going to do this again, but I hope so. I hope that's an opportunity. Well, these are going to be, is David up as well? Let me find David. Whee! David. Oh, there we go. All right, photo time. Woo! And pose. And pose. Hui, I hope you have been taking pictures.
Yeah.
They say, oh my God, I see the way
All
you
right, now.
shine. Take your hand, my
Thank
dear,
you so
and
much,
place them
Asam
both
Z.
in
Can we
mine.
all go into the gallery view right
Stop,
now?
that
And
I was
it's
passing
time for
by.
some games and a large
Now I
group
beg to
photo.
see
If
your
you're
face just
willing,
one
let's
more time.
unspotlight everyone who is here so we can see
I see
everybody. And if you can turn on your camera for just a few seconds, be pretty.
You make
Bling,
me
bling,
wanna
bling,
cry.
bling. Give us some reaction. That would be lovely. And then just stay there for a while because my photo person has to go into every page and press next. And press next. Ka-cha! And press next. Ka-cha! And press next. Ka-cha!
me move for me.
Alright, so just hold on for now.
And when you're done,
Yeah,
I'll
and if
make
you guys
prove
just
that I
remember the
get.
jelly fingers,
say,
that
oh
came from
my God, I see
McKinsey.
you
Oh
got
yeah,
me
so let's see those
right.
jelly
Take
fingers.
my hands where deep and
Yeah.
look me in my eyes.
Exactly, exactly. Who said that Zoom meetings are boring? All right. Who said that Zoom meetings will be so dry and goodness knows what's going on? All right. Hui Yi, are you ready? Or are we still have like more photos to get? Eee. I see. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to the next session. Where was I? Okay, so let us all take a deep breath. We're gonna move into segue slowly. So take a deep breath because I need a deep breath. And recall everything that has been poured into us for the first session. In reverse chronology, the first thing that's popping up to me is the penguin and the memes and the serene mind practice, the breath, looking inwards, observing the emotion and the flow of thoughts, and then becoming still to bring attention to the front of our brains, and then moving it backwards. There's problem and there's stress. One is outside, one is inside. And then we both just go jelly fingers, swoosh, and put that aside. Our next speaker is Dr. David Bullard. He will teach us the FT technique, which is the latest breakthrough in clinical stress relief. Now, FT is not so well known yet in these regions. I'm sorry, David, you're gonna be there, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep you there for a while. Be pretty. FT is not so well known in this side of the world yet because it's quite new, right? It kind of like the method developed in the last 5 to 10 years. And it generated so many successful case studies and very serious cases get like people, can recover from things that are quite serious. And it generated so many successful stories that neuroscience researchers picked this up on the method and they controlled randomized trials in different countries. And there's a lot more research to back this up. So we have an idea of why we think this happens. And there's also continuous studies going on to see that, investigate if this isn't working when we think it should, what are the parameters that, needs to be adjusted or what's affected, that kind of stuff. Now, if you need a bathroom or a water break, now is a good time to just, go get yourself comfortable and then come back in. Allow me, David, to go through a grandmother's story for a while. Like, you tell great stories, so we definitely want to hear your stories. But let me just go for like a little ride. About 10 years ago, a very dear mentor introduced David to he put us both connected. Now, this mentor's name was Victor Yalom. He's the founder of psychotherapy.net. Now, a lot of us know the name Dr. Irvin Yalom in psychiatry and psychology because he laid the foundation for a lot of our textbooks and also made a case for group therapy to be an important part of a medical psychiatric practice. But it's so important, like to reach people before they even need to come to therapy, right? So Dr. Irvin Yalom's son, Victor Yalom, started psychotherapy.net because he's like, oh, wait, medical doctors and nurses have so many years to learn and work with experienced clinicians. But clinical psychotherapies have much shorter window of opportunity to learn because of the very private, privacy protective kind of nature of the clinical setting. So he took the camera and started recording specialists handling cases. Okay, this is how you deal with eating disorder. This is how you deal with anger issues and an explosive situation in couples therapy. And that is a way to train. I think most counselors and psychotherapy students that I know in the last 10 years have been assigned psychotherapy.net and some module on it as part of their training. So when Victor, in his big brother, mentor role, came to me and said, Tian, I know you're interested in the topic of stress. Now you have to meet David to learn the FT technique. It's the best breakthrough that we've ever seen for like a long time. Like he told me it's a black swan, something that's rare but real and very valuable. Now, when someone like Victor says, "Oh, this is a breakthrough and it's exciting," you listen, because Victor knows everyone and he is, fully up to date with everything that's going on in the field. So we arranged for a call, and I had to bring this stressful memory to work on the call. And the instructions were this: the memory has to be not too big, not too small, right? A nice, medium, stressful memory. I know those two words, nice, medium, stressful, don't really go together. But here's how it works. When it's something that's too big, it means that if you think about it, and then you want to stop thinking about it, the bad feeling doesn't stop, it continues. So don't take that here, not this session, because that will take a longer time than we have today, right? So you have to be able to start and stop it. If it's too small, it means this memory has no reaction. It's no different from, oh, where did I put my car keys? I mean, you have no issue with that. That's too small. From a scale of 1 to 10, if your target memory is, if 10 is like, I don't want to think about it, can't stop. 0 is like, you want this to be a 5 to an 8, right? A 5 to an 8. So what is a nice medium stressful memory? If you are scared of cicak, the little lizard sticking on the wall, and then you think about it makes you feel giddy. And then when you bring that memory up, you'll be like, don't want. And then you'll be like my sister, you come and help me take the cup from the cupboard. I scared of cicak. Okay. Now, if you have a memory like that, that is a nice, stressful, medium memory. Bring that to the workshop. Start thinking about one that you have, right? And you can tune me out for a little bit while you figure out that memory out. And I'm going to continue to give you some time. So the memory that I brought to the call was was actually a memory that it didn't have a story. It was just an emotional reaction to the smell of smoke. Now, I don't have like a story to go like, oh, this happened when this was happening, and that was why since then, I have this reaction. No, I just every time I experience that smell, I just feel really uncomfortable, really want to leave, or like there's just like I get really grumpy, right? And well, when I stop thinking about it and like, okay, well, where am I? I'm on this call. I'm seeing David right here just laughing at me. Well, okay, then I'm good. Then I'm good. So I brought that to the call, right? This grumpy kid in college brought grumpy memory to the call, and with David, and it was just a WhatsApp call, right? I was walking around the park, and David asked me, "Okay, do 3 things. Do these 3 things." I'm like, okay. This is weird, but okay. And in 20 minutes, that grumpy reaction went from high stress, highly reactive, to low stress. Like, I'm okay now. When I encounter that, when I think about it, or even when I experience it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's here, cool. And I still don't like it, but I don't have that anymore. And so the end of that call, right? I went to David and I was like, David, that was so weird. And oh my God, it works. All right. I didn't know that David is a clinical faculty in the Department of Medicine and the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, Valley Institute of Neurosciences. Okay, I had no clue. He was so nice about it. I was this little kid in university. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Monsieur or Mademoiselle, babe, dan bob sekalian, yeah, Sir David Bullard, G is going to share his brains and his life experience with us in this workshop. Are you ready to get some brain juice? Let us welcome David Bullard with this session. So, David, tell me.
Selamat pagi.
You got it.
I think we need to stop and let everybody have a beautiful day. We don't need my presentation because of two things. That's all the Malay language that I know, so I can't speak in Malay. And number two, Mackenzie, Jake, Akshita, you all did such a beautiful job over this last hour. I feel so relaxed, and I'm sure everybody else does. We don't want to get them unrelaxed. So should we continue? I guess we should.
That's a trick question, David. I have you booked till like another hour, so you're not
Okay.
going anywhere.
We'll see if we have something to say.
We'll see if we have something to say. Well, I do have a few questions for you, and if anyone else has like questions along the way for like a method, or if you have questions on the research, like pop them into the chat and we'll address them as we go along. They may get answered as we go along. We want this to be as interactive as possible because you know mental health doesn't have to be dry and boring. It can be really fun. Okay. Tell us, David, what is the FT technique? Like, where did it come from?
Okay. I'll get into that in a moment, but I'm just really honored to be with you all because I just had a big birthday. I'm 80, and we had a rehearsal with a few of the technical staff people, and to be with all of you today is really such an honor for me, but it also makes me feel really good because this world has a lot of challenges, a lot of bad things happening, a lot of people after money and power. And looking back at my career, I know you are all investing in your happiness by these programs, but also by the caring that you have for everyone you interact with. And it just felt so good to me, even after the rehearsal. So again, it's an honor for me. And Tian, thank you so much for inviting me. So, 50 years of practice as a clinical psychologist in San Francisco, and I learned in the 1990s about EMDR, which is a trauma therapy technique used for people who've had just terrible experiences. It's called eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It's had a huge amount of research on it. I also learned, I did a 3-year training in somatic experiencing, Peter Levine's work, and including advanced training in Brazil with a bunch of wonderful people. So what I've found throughout the years is that people who are interested in trauma tend to people, especially trauma therapy, tend to be people who've had trauma in their life. And maybe there aren't many of us who haven't had some kind of trauma. I've had a pretty wonderful life, but from age 3 to 11, I had 5 surgeries that necessitated anesthesia with something that was called ether, that was a suffocation experience. And I was 3 years old, 5, 7, 9, 11. So I didn't think about those things. I don't have a good visual memory at all. And I didn't realize that that was impacting me because at age 50, you're supposed to get a colonoscopy. None of you have to worry about that yet. But at age 50, you're supposed to get it to make sure you don't have any colon cancer. And I did not get that simple test for 10 years. And when I started doing some trauma work with Peter Levine, I found out that it's probably related that I did not want to let a medical person put me to sleep with ether. Well, they don't use ether anymore. But in my background, from my mind, my unconscious, and in Sanskrit, they call it alaya. It's a storehouse. We all have working memory that we're paying attention to right now, but everything else in your world is in your memory banks. That's alaya, the storehouse. So my friend Phil taught the EMDR trauma practice around the world for 25 years. He lives across the bay in Berkeley. he's a great international trainer with a lot of experience. I think he's one of the best trauma therapists around. But he discovered about 8 years ago that there's an entirely different way of doing it that's simpler, more rapid, and is fun, believe it or not. How can you work on a trauma memory and make it fun? Tian's going to help me show you that today. So since then, about 50,000 therapists, trauma therapists, have been trained in this technique in a 6-hour training. And there are about 28 peer-reviewed journal articles. You'll get a PowerPoint after this, so don't worry about taking notes. We've got a lot of information in the PowerPoint. We just didn't want to PowerPoint more. I love those memes and the wonderful animation that we saw earlier, but now we're going to try and be more interactive. So Tian, what should we talk about next?
Got
Should we
it.
just give them an experience of it and then talk more about it?
Yeah, let's
Like
do
the
that. Let's
theory and
roll
what's
with that.
happening? Because I
Let's
find,
do an experience. So,
Yeah.
David, let's walk through the steps for that, and let's do a demonstration, and then we're gonna go to gallery view and let everyone try it.
yeah,
Right. So, what is the
unless they
first
don't
step?
want to try it,
Unless they
you
don't
don't
want to try
have
it.
to. But believe me, it's fun.
It's fun, and well, we have someone here who knows how to do it and someone here who doesn't. So, while you are here. All right, so the first step would be a target memory, right? So hopefully by now everyone has had an idea of a teacher reaction kind of memory that you want to work on. That's a nice medium 8. Now, what do we do with this memory now, David?
Forget about it.
Forget about it. So we go whoosh.
Yep. So
Okay.
it was in your working memory, just like it is right now. I have my hands up, I'm looking at the screen, my working memory. You identified the bad memory. Now you forget about it. And your present moment focus will be something you would like to have in your mind right now. Now, most of you are visual and you can visualize things. There's this new word only used in the last 10 years, aphantasia, aphantasia. I'm one of those people. I close my eyes. I can't see my son, who's 35, and I saw him yesterday. I can't do that. There are people on the other end of the spectrum who are so photographic in their minds, they can see things with a lot of detail and clarity. They're hyperphantasic. So we're all different. But picture something, could be a place that you love, a mountaintop or a beach. It could even be an activity. If you enjoy swimming, just sitting, close your eye and picture yourself swimming. Try to feel what happens when you're in the water, all of that. Immerse yourself in that. Or skiing, if you ever skied down a mountain, you can feel yourself going back and forth. Or would be a person. One 50-year-old guy told me, I'm going to picture my grandmother because when I was 5 years old, she loved me more unconditionally than anyone has ever since. We're going to have you do something like that, and we'll do it in a couple different ways. Then, like you do, it's hard to just jump into this, but there's no explanation. Don't worry about it. This is a bilateral stimulation with EMDR, the eye movement trauma therapy of the last 40 years. It's making your eyes go back and forth. Now, when you do this bilaterally, your left brain, right hemisphere can connect up through the corpus callosum of your brain. So you're doing this. This is in your working memory. You're having your positive engaging focus. And every 10, 15 seconds, either I or Tian will say flash. And when you hear the word flash, blink 3 or 4 times like this. Blink, blink, blink. Just blink quickly. Blink, blink, blink. Don't worry about why you're doing this crazy stuff. I know it's crazy. Believe me, every time I do it, I've been doing it 8 years. It seems crazy. But if you'd be willing, just go along with that.
So we're going to recap the 4 steps. We're going to have the target memory, which is the yuck. And then we're going to go whoosh, set it aside. Now we're going to feel our awareness and focus with something nice. and that's going on. Think of that something nice. Keep going. Keep thinking about the something nice. Do this tappy tap, left, right,
And flash.
and flash, and continue. I'm still thinking about the memory, the nice thing. I'm still thinking about Chinese New Year and the gathering that my mom did and the food that was up and all the cousins that I met and all the
Flash.
conversations,
Blink, blink,
blink, blink,
blink.
blink, and that still continue. Is this how it's gonna work?
Yes.
All right. We are going to move into the gallery view and have everyone follow along. Let's see. Oops. All right. Okay, so if we're willing to come along and try this really crazy technique, have your nice chit-chat memory, put it aside, start thinking about something nice. It could be a beautiful
Good.
state. It could be something you like. Keep thinking about that.
And it can move from one thing to another if you want, but if you can really get into something, it'd be great. And flash. Blink, blink, blink. If you hear the music, then let your body feel it too. Flash. Blink, blink, blink. Flash. Blink, blink, blink. Flash. Blink, blink, blink. Okay, can we pause the music for a moment? And now I'd like you, so if you did it, you had your working memory filled up. Present moment is working memory. It was filled up with this thing that you chose. Now, for a moment, bring back your target memory to working memory, and now forget it again, and let's get back into doing more flash.
Music,
Get
come
back
back.
to your
Normal
get back to
music.
whatever is your engaging focus. Flash. 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 Like, flash. Blink, blink, blink. Okay, let's pause one more time. Bring back the target memory briefly, and now forget about it again. Come back one more time for the flash. Back to your positive focus, or a new one, or the old one. Just come back
Music
with
back.
that.
It's okay. This is good music. We're doing the first set.
Pardon?
Oh, we're good. Can we just bring the music back out? Hi, Wing, you're doing really well. This is great.
Okay, more flashing. Let yourself have that image in your mind, whatever you're thinking about. Could be a moment of joy in your life. You've had many wonderful moments in your life. And flash, blink, blink, blink. Flash, blink, blink, blink. Okay, we can pause now. And if you bring back the memory, we've just done this, you can tell we've only done this for a few minutes. We would do it longer, but even right now, see if anything at all is different for you in your consciousness when you bring back this thing called a memory. Because memories that are upsetting to us, part of the brain, my Yale colleagues found that it lights up something called the PCC. We'll talk about that later. It's posterior cingulate cortex, which is kind of like present moment awareness. That's why a bad memory, that when you remember it, makes you disturbed versus, oh, that's in the past. I don't have to worry about it. That kind of memory is activating your brain in a different way than usual memories do, like a memory of what you had for lunch yesterday. So if anybody would like to put in the chat if you see anything different when you bring this memory back. It might be different in terms of your visual. It might be, let's see, are we still on? Am I still on? Oh, okay.
Sorry, I put you on spotlight for a moment.
No, that's
because
that's
That's a
okay.
way to get everyone to focus as well.
Suddenly I was all alone. And now I need to do the flash technique on my fear of being
Sorry.
dropped off the call. No. No, some people say it seems farther away, or it seems pixelated, or no, I still have the same memory, but my body's relaxed. Put in the chat anything you want about that.
We
And
have
then, John,
Alex
should we
and
try the
Jim.
music? Should we try the music one?
Yes. Let me read out the reflection in the chat. Alex and Jim says that it doesn't seem as strong as before. And we have a question. It's like, what about an unpleasant anticipatory future? Can we
That's about the future. It's a great question because how would we know to worry about something in the future? I mean, if it's a huge thing, of course, we know that there are bad things happening in the world. But often something we're worried about in the future is because in the background, in the back of our minds, we had an experience. And that's where we would go to work on that memory. One colleague of mine worked with a policeman who'd been shot in the chest. He had a bulletproof vest. It didn't penetrate that, but it knocked him over. And he had trauma from that. I would too. And they did this technique in other trauma therapy, and it didn't seem to help him. So my friend said, well, feel that, remember that, how it felt in your body to be shot and fall over. And float back in your mind, see if anything pops into your head automatically when you might have felt that way before. And this policeman said, no, nothing. Oh, wait. He said, I see it. When I was 6 years old, my father punched me in the stomach so hard, I lost all my breath and I thought I was going to die. I thought I couldn't breathe in again. Can imagine, there are things back there that we've all experienced that sometimes we have a feeling memory that turbocharges what's happening now. And we don't often know what the memory is about. For example, my 3-year-old memory of being brought in for surgery, I have no visual memory of that. I had to be told about it, but my body remembered, don't go in there. Don't let people do surgery. Don't let them put you to sleep, until I did the trauma work on that. So let's see. Tian, shall we try the music with it now? Because
let's try it the
there's
second
so many.
round.
I have to tell you one quick story. My colleague that I've worked with, she's in Oregon, and she's a child and family therapist as well. And a mother brought in her 4-year-old daughter because they'd been in an auto accident, and the 4-year-old, after the accident, nobody was permanently injured, but every time the 4-year-old got in a car again, she would throw up every time. They did this flash technique about telling the little girl to imagine a mother duck, and little ducklings walking along. So it's hard to imagine what kind of psychotherapy you could do with a 4-year-old, right, who had such a trauma reaction, but it helped, she didn't throw up anymore going in the car. Okay, to the music, Tian. Is this the music or the other?
Yeah, sorry about that. I think we're having some technical kind of glitch at the moment.
Okay, here's the deal. We can use that music you've got. I encourage people to really feel it in their body and move around to the music, and we'll continue to do this. Oh, you got it. Flash, blink, blink, blink.
Like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along.
Flash, blink, blink, blink.
Like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy.
So good to see everybody dancing.
Feel like happiness is the truth. Because
Flash, blink, blink, blink.
if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel
Flash,
like
blink, blink, blink.
you want to do.
Okay, pause.
Here come bad news.
Bring back your target memory briefly. Let it go again and back to the music. One more time for the music. Maybe we should end the workshop right now with this song.
No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm
Flash, blink, blink, blink.
feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Flash, blink, blink, blink.
If you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go. Bring me down.
Flash, blink, blink, blink.
Me down. The love is too high. Bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. I said, bring me down.
Flash, blink, blink, blink.
Bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down.
Stop.
Can't nothing bring me down. I said,
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that Tian is the one who chose that song.
Oh, I'm gonna
so
blame
you
that on
can-
my team.
So you can see how this sort of thing could be used with children because they love to get into songs. Which brings me to the fact that Tian had mentioned, I have a 7 and 9-year-old grandchildren, and their mother taught them this technique. And the 7-year-old, Sylvia, told me later, she went to school and this has happened twice. Her friend, she said, my friend George was not feeling good. He was feeling sad. So I taught him this blink flash. She called it blink flash. And he felt a lot better. So it's an emotional self-regulation tool that people can use. There's also an online version that is free that's a little bit different, but Phil, the guy who developed this, had everything but his dissertation for a PhD in mathematics. So he's pretty smart about technical things. And if you go to app.flashtechnique.com, you'll find this very simple way of, it doesn't use the things that we're able to use. It has you come up with a bad memory, then forget about it. And you have to do it on your computer, not your phone. And you're looking at your screen and there's one of 4 different icons, like a sun or a star or a happy face or a frowning face. And when it changes, you hit the space bar. It is the world's simplest video game. But you can imagine when you're looking at this and it's a reaction time thing. So you're trying to do it quickly, like, oh, did it change or not? And you're really paying attention. That's all you have to do, have an engaging focus. When I've worked with people who are in grief, and I work with people with cancer and palliative care, palliative medicine, some people who are in deep depression or grief, you can't ask them to sing a happy song, obviously. But all you need is to have them engage. And for people who can't come up immediately with something positive, we'll say this. And I'd like you to try it too, okay? So we don't need music, but I'd like you to start with a number 347 and out loud say what you get when you subtract 13. So 347, subtract 13, and keep subtracting 13s from the number you've got. And say it out loud, even though we can't hear you. And I tell people, don't worry about being accurate, because you think I know what you're, just do it. It's a calculation. notice how it's focusing your mind. And usually after just a couple minutes of that, people then are able, you can stop now. People are able to say, I did come up with a positive thing that I could put in my mind, because it's a little onerous. It's a little difficult to do that mathematical thing. We have some other things to talk about. You'll see it on the
David, yeah.
PowerPoint. Go ahead, Tian.
Yeah, sorry for putting you in the spotlight for so long. That was really fun, and I guess I just want to go through the messages in the live stream for just a quick shout out, because someone on the live stream said, "Well, Jake better start making memes about the flash blink 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 as part of the youth programs." That's from the live stream, and I think we have some people here who have said that, oh, they felt like a really huge stress lifted from their shoulders, or
Feeling it
that,
in the body. Yes.
or that it's harder to recall the memory, the target memory, each time they brought it back in.
When they've done this with 500 trauma therapists in a meeting 2 years in a row at the EMDR International Conference, and they had to tell people to write down on a piece of paper using 2 words, because some people totally forget what the memory was that they were working on. Another experience I've had, if you get 2 magnets and you have 2 north ends of a magnet and you try, sometimes it's been like that for me, as if the memory doesn't really want to come back. It's because the memory has been corrected. There was an error. The error is when you have a memory like that, like I had an auto accident, a big one 5 years ago, for real. Nobody was injured, and I don't have a trauma from it. But if I said, "What, this auto accident?" Oh, the error is my mind thinking somehow it's happening now. And when you correct it through the flash technique, it knows its proper place in your past. It's in the past. I heard today someone who said her memory is good because her memory helps her forget things. Most of us, our problems don't come from, well, at my age, our problems are coming more from forgetting things, but often things you don't forget that are in the background, in the alaya, the storehouse, are causing some problems in your mood, in your everyday life.
And like, walk us, do we want to go through a little bit of, so now like I think everyone's getting a little bit excited on what's the research about this, right?
I thought you were going to say he's getting sleepy,
Oh, we're a
but
bunch of
it's
nerds and
morning where
geeks
you
here.
are. So, okay.
Let's go through that briefly. Shall I pull up your slides?
Sure.
that, yeah.
We're going to go through it very, very
Yeah,
quickly.
we can do it very quickly. And yeah, because I
And
think
they
it's
will all get a
fascinating.
copy. They'll get a copy later.
Absolutely. Let me just switch this to a full screen view and left of screen. All right. Are you able to see the slides right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And let me to the next. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm.
The
Where
goal
do
is
we want to
not to erase the memory, it's to remove the disturbance from the memory. The event happened. The suffering does not have to remain. I don't have to read each one of these, but
Where would you want me to stop?
oh, just so they'll get a sense that they're going to have some information. Information will be coming about this a little bit more. Again,
Tell us about the neuroscience of it, because I think this is where we are going to like ground this really fun experience in the science, right? Because up till this point, everyone else here and myself who is hearing, let's say if I'm coming in for the first time, it's like, okay, we've had something fun. I mean, this is so not therapy, David. This is so weird.
it's been of the 28 research articles, 2 of them out of Turkey have to do with students with test anxiety. And in one, they did a group session with 1 flash session and had great results. The other one also had great results, but they had a longer more than one session. But it's amazing to me still, having done it for almost 8 years, how quickly something can change. And some of you here experienced it, even with the little bit that we were doing. The neuroscience is still to be determined because the people who developed it are not in academic settings. They're not researchers, they're clinicians. I've been trying to get my friends at Yale and the UCSF and other places interested in it, and it's starting to happen. So they'll do some fMRI research on the flash. But what they have found is that if you have a trauma memory in mind and you're in a functional MRI scan and you hear that part of your brain lights up called the PCC that I mentioned before, that does not light up if you have a sad memory or a neutral memory, like what you had for lunch the day before. So we're pretty sure the PCC is also involved in kind of present moment awareness, which makes total sense, doesn't it? That a memory that something that happened, even there are people who have things that happened 30 years ago that when it comes to mind, they really, oh, my dad hit me with a belt or something like that. And their father is not alive. There's no way they're in danger again, but they have a shake like that. This corrects it. And imagine if you're typing and you make a spelling error, right? And then autocorrect happens and it's spelled correctly. Then I ask, where is the error after autocorrect has come in? I don't know. I don't think it's anywhere, unless you're a programmer and you might be able to trace it down. But basically, once it's corrected, it's correct. It doesn't go back to being bad
It
again.
doesn't come back. The trauma
No,
memory
it
doesn't come
doesn't.
back. The reaction doesn't come back.
When I first heard that, I didn't believe it from Phil, the guy who developed it. I said, "Oh, maybe the next week, maybe you numb it and it comes." He said, no, it gets corrected and it becomes a regular memory, not
Wow.
a trauma memory.
And tell
And
us
this
a
is
little
for
bit.
some of the most difficult things that people experience.
Absolutely. And while we are on the topic of, I know that there's a lot of here who are having fun, and there's a nice group of people here who are actually clinicians or training to be psychotherapists or in the healthcare professions.
Yes.
And like, can we touch a little bit on how this is different from exposure therapy,
Oh,
as we have on the slides right now?
That's the main thing. And I put on two webinars through the Weil Institute for Neurosciences on that very point, that every current trauma-based treatment that's used in VA medical centers and hospitals and clinics.
Sorry, what is VAA for us who are blind?
Veterans Administration
Thank you.
Hospital, for the people who've been in the Army. They say you have to extinguish the bad memory. So they would, if I was the patient, they'd say, David, tell me all the details you can about your auto accident and how did your body feel and what did you see and what happened, and go into detail. Well, it can work, not as often as they originally thought it can work, but it's also extremely difficult for people who've been involved in very, very, very traumatic circumstances. It's re-traumatizing, it's reliving it. The extinction model that they use is, well, if you do it enough and enough and enough and enough and enough, the anxiety and the upset will come down and down. The beauty of the flash technique is it is something you don't expose yourself consciously to it, but it's in your unconscious. There's something called memory reconsolidation that is a very well-known part of neuroscience. And it means that, I'll give you an example. Why is it that we feel better when we talk with a friend, not even therapy? Usually we feel better if it's a good friend and we tell them I got to tell you, Tian, I just was really had a bad experience. Somebody was really angry at me when I was driving and he yelled at me, and so I'm telling you a story, right? My present consciousness is the story. And I'm telling you this bad thing or difficult thing or scary thing. But little by little, I recognize, oh, I'm telling it, Tian, and you are listening. You don't judge me. You're not telling me I'm a bad driver or a bad person. You're listening with your compassionate heart. And now that memory that was originally like this has the new context. Knowing that you listened and you heard it is a memory reconsolidation of the original memory. Memories can change. And it's what happens. 50% of psychotherapy seems to be, from all the research, the relationship. And so if in fact your therapist is sitting there thinking, well, David, I think you are a bad driver, even if he didn't say that, I would feel it. We know things. One colleague at UCLA in Southern California has written books about right brain to right brain, the therapist's right brain to the client's right brain, unconscious communication. It's just like you walk, you know when you see someone if you feel safe with them, even before you have any idea about who they are. These things are so built into us. So, how the flash technique works, that's what I was trying to talk about a bit. So, how about the next slide? And
Sure.
you'll have a chance to go over this when you get it again. Unless, Tian, you want to mention this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we will be sending the research, the papers, and the resources in the after the event for everyone who else has attended. I guess I think David, you've talked about many points. Let me just consolidate them to just do a brief recap because
Good.
that was a lot. And David, you're a really engaging story. You tell great stories, and everyone is just drawn into the story, and everyone experienced it. And let me just bring back a little bit of what I think you're saying, that the flash technique, it creates these steps, these weird little games that we play, right? The tappy tappy, the blinky blinky, the remember and whoosh, put it aside, and then the positive engaging focus, or the whatever we feel our working memory with. This is designed to help the target memory, the one that we put aside, update to the present moment. And we do it in a way where we don't have to constantly expose ourselves to think about the bad thing, which is very difficult for some people. And that this way where we activate the brain to go right side, left side, left side, and the blinking, it helps make the correction in the PCC, the part of the brain that saves the file according to time. It helps the brain say that, oh, this event is not happening now. This thing is saved as an archive in the past. And so it
We
doesn't
could
come up.
never be in the present moment if we didn't have a good forgettery. Our brains need to let go of the past to be present. And we have a negativity bias, though. From evolution, we've been looking out for danger. And what the group does with their techniques and what the flash tries to do is to bring people into the present moment so that it activates parts of your brain that are different than the parts that activate when you're anxious, the amygdala that Jake was mentioning about and the periapital gray. Just imagine for a moment, if you're looking at a scan of your brain and you're laughing, there are things happening, real things happening, and you want to have more of that. That's why a gratitude practice or even laughter yoga is a great practice they use at our medical center to get people, just think of the wonderful things that are happening in your brain when you're laughing. We have to make ourselves do that because our brains want to just drift into worry, usually.
Understood. So for everyone else out there who might be very familiar with trauma therapy or have maybe gone through some things that are very sticky, like the little thing that's sticking to the side of your brain inside, there's a lot of research that has gone into this. David just extracted some of them for us, and we will be sending these to you. And if you would like to have a more exposure and more understanding about what's going on here, absolutely let us know and we can put you in touch. So yeah, let me just go back to the live stream and go back to see what have people been saying. from the live stream, I've lived with deep trauma. One thing that people with trauma should know is that the light at the end of the tunnel is brighter than it was before the trauma. It's like making room for more light to be there because you dug deeper. That's really, really sweet. That's really, really sweet of you. Thank you for sharing that.
Somebody said 80 is crazy. That must be back, is real cool. Yeah. I don't know how it happened. It's going to happen. I hope it happens to all of you too, but it happens quickly.
It happens quickly. That's
So
funny.
watch out. Have
Oh,
fun.
have fun. And someone else says that thank you very, very much for the tap, 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 flash, bling, bling, bling stuff to forget unpleasant memories. Never know how to forget, as it is as important to remembering. That's really sweet. Well, I guess shall we, David, will you tell us one last story? Because you have really good stories. And can you tell one about someone who has a phobia of flying?
I'd love to. And two stories. I'll
Yeah.
make them quick. One is my daughter-in-law came over to the house. The next day they were flying on a 5-hour flight and we had pizza. So maybe it was the pizza that helped. I don't know. But she said she'd had a lifetime fear of flying. And we talked about it. She'd heard about the flash technique. So I asked her, "Do you have a particular bad memory of flying?" And she said, "Oh, yes. We were about to land in an airport. I was with my family and they took off like that. And that was her worst memory. And she said, she's an attorney. She's a very bright, accomplished woman. And she said, on an airplane, when I have to fly for business, I have headphones playing loud music. I cannot stand up to go to the bathroom. I cry. And my family don't want to fly with me anymore because I'm such a wreck. Well, we did the flash technique for about half an hour with her. And the researchers among you will be happy to know there's outcome data because she texted me. In the morning, she woke up, she said, "I'm relaxed, even though we're going to an airport." Then she said, "I'm in the car, we're going to the airport, I still feel relaxed." She said, "The flight is delayed, I still feel pretty relaxed." And later, as she landed, she said, "That was the best flight I've ever had. I didn't get bothered at all." What's interesting is she said on their flight home again, there was some bumpiness that used to really bother her. And she said, "I just did a little bit of this. I didn't do anything, but I just got myself in my body by back forth." And the anxiety went away and I had a good flight. And she's had many flights since then with no problems. That was pretty dramatic. But I want to end with a wonderful one. I have a friend from Jordan, the country of Jordan, and she's an epidemiologist, about 35 years old. And I got to meet her in Jordan. She was a friend of a friend, a wonderful woman. Her research was with Syrian women refugees in Jordan who'd lived under ISIS, a terrible group, and especially two women. And these women would, in privacy, tell her their stories. That was part of her research. They did not tell these stories in the camps, in the refugee camps. Everybody had been traumatized. They didn't want to tell them, but they told it to her. And she did wonderful research on that. She has 2 epidemiological degrees. But the point was she wanted to learn the flash. And I did the flash with her in Jordan. And I didn't even know what she was working on. I didn't know what bad memory she had. But when she said her positive, engaging focus, I had goosebumps and we both had tears because she said, "David, I'm picturing my father's eyes because she also had a medical degree, when he learned I had the best grades in my medical school class. And I saw how proud he was of me." And she had tears because she said he died a year later. And that's my favorite memory of him. he died a year later, she said, and he was the best father. She missed him so much, but it was sweet and sad the way it is when you've lost someone that you love. I work a lot with doctors and nurses who their work life is with people who are dying, and they feel a lot with that too. And I've learned from that loving and losing, loss and love are about the same thing eventually. So I love that story, that her positive, engaging focus was of her father.
That was so lovely. And I guess all our hearts goes out to people who have ever had experienced something difficult to varying degrees. And definitely it really reminds me of this saying from a mentor whom I met around the same time that we first spoke about 10 years ago, 8 years, I think it was 8 years, who said that, you know, she said it was an acting class, and she said that the best gift that people can ever give each other, that we can leave behind, even when we leave, is the feeling, the quality of our presence when we're with the people that lasts. And that she said that gratitude is a feeling, and the feeling can be given without words and without action. So thank you so much, David, for being here and being so generous with all your experience and, you know, research and expertise. I mean, you have made this in a way that's really engaging, that I find, like, I've spent 15 years just looking for curriculum that can really carry across different places, and this is one of them that's like just such a gem. And I guess I always say this, you know, when I spend 20 minutes or like an hour with you, I don't feel like I lost that hour. It's so enriching, and there's so much more to this. But it's really lovely. Actually, let's go back to the gallery view.
Got
And
some questions, maybe?
do we have any questions? Everyone is saying like that's we're good, we're good. So yeah, everyone, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat. And otherwise, like, let's give David a little big round of applause. And let's have actually let's transition into what a gratitude exercise. So about 10 years ago, when that mentor said, okay, gratitude is a feeling more than anything else, and it's a very lovely gift that we can give the people around us, like our speakers and David Bullard, who has called in all the way from California at God knows what hour. And she gave us this exercise in drama class that she said that every great actor has mastered. It works like this. She says, here's how you give a feeling of appreciation to someone without words and without doing things in a way that they would be able to receive it, right? So let us all bring our attention to inside, gently close our eyes, take a deep breath in, and out. And just enjoy your breathing for maybe 1 or 2 breaths. And in and out. One more time. Enjoy the breath. In and out. Bring your attention from outside to inside. Your skin feels on both sides. The temperature outside and inside is a little bit different. For those of us who live in a fast-paced, highly urgent life, on a long shift, bringing our attention or even some of it inside is a lovely way to rest in between shifts or tasks. in short moments. For those of us who have racing thoughts, that makes it difficult to rest. Bringing our attention from the external problems and projects to inside, back to the body, is a way to help the body transition into rest. Another breath in, and now. Bring your attention to the quiet, still place inside. It is like the pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. In this still, quiet place at heart, think of something that brings you so much joy. A child, a parent, a pet. For some people who have a very strong relationship with their faith, they tell me that they like to think of that relationship with. Now make that feeling bigger, and that joy bigger and bigger and bigger until you cannot see it anymore. And in this place, when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and allow this big, big, big joy to be shared with everyone who is here. And if you have a loved one by your side or at home while you attend to this webinar, tell them something, do something from them with this feeling. And they might feel something different about you. Aww, Jim and Alex, aww. Thank you so much for spending time with us. When I spend 2 hours with you, I don't feel like I've lost an hour at all. This is a very awesome group to be with. Please fill out the feedback form that we will have. There's a link in the chat, and also we'll be pulling up a slide with the QR code. Your feedback will definitely help us know where we can improve, because we really do want mental health to be fun and accessible ways to a lot of people. And thank you to all the speakers who prepared so much and shared what they have done with us, with their communities. You might not know this yet, but the young people in the Oneness Generation group host different activities around the world. And one of the ones that they're doing right now is called Minecraft and Mindcraft, where they play Minecraft and then pause to do a serene mind practice and then play more Minecraft, just to develop, these skills of problem versus stress and being in this calm, collected place. And it's a community where they meet everyone online, and they also do their stress-free zone programs. If you want to know more about David Bullard's work and what he does for so long, I mean, why would someone who have 50 years of experience and EMDR and SE and all these skills already still pick up something like FT in the last 8 years? Right, it's really impactful, and there's a reason why people are doing this. And when he came on, I was like, David, this is a passion project with like classmates. Will you just come on? And he's like, yeah, I can do this for free. Cool. Well, bring me to Malaysia. I'm like, oh, wow, really? Thank you so much, David, for being here. Thanks to all the organizers for working on this. And thank you to all the participants for being here today. I wish you all a very merry weekend. Can we bring up the slide for the feedback form? And thank you so much. How's music, guys? Absolutely. The jelly fingers for the one last time. Whoosh. Thank you very much.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Yeah, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Yeah, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Oh, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Oh, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We're gonna close this. Jim, Alex, you've been lovely, lovely seeing you guys here. Kawhi, thanks so much for being here and turning on your videos and participating. Everyone else, thank you so much. We are going to enjoy our weekends now. Bye. Woo.